Hi, welcome to my video on the area. And this is practice 1, a review of the area of geometric figures. Number 1, find the area of each. A rectangle with a length of 4 meters and a width of 315 centimeters. So notice we have meters and centimeters. So what I'm going to do is change them to meters. So 315 centimeters divide by 100, you will get 3.5 meters. So now that we have it in meters, all the units in meters, the area of a rectangle is length times width. The length is 4 and the width is 3.15. And again, I could put meters here and here. When you multiply that, you will get, use your calculator, use your head, whatever you want, pencil. That's 12.6 and it's meters squared. Now I could also write SQ meters. So I'll vary that as I do these questions. B, we want to find the area. Again, we have a rectangle because we have 4 sides, 4 corners of right angles. So we got 4 right angles, we definitely have a rectangle. So we need to find the area. So the area is the length times the width. So we need to find this side here. To find that side there, we will use the Pythagorean. C squared is A squared plus B squared. C is the hypotenuse, which is 13. A is X and B is 12. So that's 169. X squared plus 12 squared is 144. So that means that 169 minus 144 is equal to x squared. So let's move up right here. That means that 169 minus 144 is 25. And that's x squared, so we'll do the square root of each side. And so x is 5. Now, the reason that this answer later on, you will find out that this could be a plus or a minus. So we could have 5 squared to give me 25 or negative 5. But because we're dealing with geometric figures, the square root is positive. So we have a 5. So x is 5. So that means that the area is length times width. So this is 5 and this is 5. Opposite sides are 12. That's 5. So the length is 12. And the width is 5. Multiply and we get 60. And that's units is feet. So let's go square feet. Again, I could do FT to a 2 on the top, which is a square. So 60 is the answer. Number 2, find the area of a square when the side is 4 2/3. So the area of a square has all right angles. And it has all sides equal. So it's the same as a rectangle, length times width. But if you call this is S, then a rectangle is length times width. So the area of a square is S times S. So the area of a square is S squared. So if the area is S squared, that's the way I do it, length times width could also do it. So it's 4 2/3 being squared. And notice I have a fraction here, which makes the math a little bit easy or different. Instead of just having a 5 and squaring it, get 25, or a 10 and squaring it, get 100. Let's deal with this mixed numeral. So change the mixed numeral to an improper fraction. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14, and that's over 3. So let's square that out. And we get 14 squared is 196. 3 squared is 9. And when you divide 9 into 196, you'll get 21.7777. So the answer is 21.78 or 21.8, whatever you want. That's just rounded off approximately. And that's centimeters, so we have square centimeters. Number 3, the area of a square is 6.25 square inches. Find its perimeter. So the perimeter of a square is 4s. P equals 4s because you go back to this diagram, you got s and s and s. So the perimeter is 4 times s. But to get the perimeter, we need to get the side. So the area of a square is s squared. So we have the area as 6.25 equals s squared. So that means s is equal to the square root of 6.25. And the square root of 6.25 is 2.5. And because this is square inches, this is inches. Now the perimeter is equal to 4 times s. So that's 4 times 2.5. And 4 times 5 is 0, so that's comes out to be a 10. And again, the perimeter is distance around. So if we take 2.5 and add it up 4 times, you'll get 10. 2.5 add on 2.5 is 5, and 5 makes 10. So, or 4 times 2.5. Let's continue. Number 4, a parallelogram has a base of 10.5 centimeters, have a height of 3 1/3 centimeters. Find its area. So a parallelogram is a rectangle pushed out of shape. A parallelogram has opposite sides parallel. There it is. And the height is the perpendicular distance down through here between the parallel lines. And this is the base, and this is the height. So if you draw a diagonal, you get 2 triangles in here. So if you take the 2 triangles, add them together, the area becomes base times height. And the base of the is 10 1/2, and the height is 3 1/3. And again, change these mixed numerals to improper fractions. 10 times 2 is 20, so that's 21/2. And this one is 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10/3. And when I'm multiplying fractions, I see if I can cancel top to bottom. So 3 goes into 3 once, 3 into 21 goes 7. 2 into 2 goes once, 2 into 10 goes 5. So that's 35/1, or 35. And in centimeters, so we have square centimeters. Number 5, a rhombus has a perimeter of 84 feet. If the height is the square root of the side, find its area. Well, a rhombus is just a square pushed out of shape. A rhombus has all sides equal. And if you had a right angles in here, we would have a square. So rhombus got all sides equal. And a rhombus, in relation to its area, is the same as doing a parallelogram. We have a base and a height. And the base is one of the sides because all these sides are the same length. So if a rhombus got a perimeter of, so the perimeter of a rhombus is 4s. So that base, that's an s, that's an s, that's an s, and that's an s. So the side is your base. So the perimeter is 0.64. So if you divide by 4, s is equal to 4 into 0.16. So the side is 0.16. And it says the height is the square root of the side. So the height is the square root of the side. So the side is 0.16. So the square root of that is 0.4. Again, 4 times 4 is 16, and you need 1 decimal place. So you got 2 decimal places here, so you take half of them, just 1. So 0.4 times 0.4 is 0.16, or decimal 16. Now we need to get the area. So the area is base times height. So that's the area is the side times the height. So the side is decimal 16, and the height is decimal 4. And when you multiply that out, 16 times 4 is 64. And we got 1, 2, we got 3 decimal places start here. 1, 2, 1 more. So the area is decimal 064. And it's in feet, so it's square feet. Trying to do different types of problems help you develop your thinking. Find the area of number 6. Find the area of a triangle. Base is 12 millimeters. The height is 1.5 times the base. So the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. So the base is 12. Now the height, says here the height is 1.5 times the base. So that's 1.5. The base is 12. So 1.5 times 12 makes 18. And one way I do it, you can also say 1.5 is 1 1/2. And 1 1/2 is 3 over 2. So you can also go 3 over 2 times 12. Divide, you get 6, and 3 6s makes 18. So the height is 18. So we can take a half of 12 to get 6, and we go 6 times 18, and 6 times 18 gives us 108, and that's in millimeters, so that's square millimeters. So we just keep reviewing, again designed to help you understand. Number 7, a right triangle has a leg of 1 1/3 feet and has legs of 1 1/3 feet and 2.5 feet. Find its area. So what we have is a right triangle. There's the right angle. This is the hypotenuse, and these are the two legs. So the legs are 1 1/3 and 4.5. So the area of a triangle is a half the base times the height. So the base is 4.5, and the height is 1 1/3. You could also change them around and put 1 1/3 here, and the height of 4.5 makes no difference when you're multiplying. So that gives us a half. So 4 1/2, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So that's 9 over 2. 1 1/3, 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So that's 4 over 3. And can we cancel? Well, we can multiply and get 36, and that's 12, so that gives us a 3. 36 over 12 is 3. Or we can say 2 times 2 is 4, and that cancels there. And 3 into 9 goes 3. So they all cancel out like that. So I get a 3. Remember, I could have had 4 9s is 36, and 4 times 3 is 12. And that could also give us 3. But I like to cancel when I'm multiplying fractions. I like to cancel numerator to denominator. Number 8, a trapezoid has a height of 8.3 centimeters. The shorter base is 2.1 centimeters less than the height. The longer base is 3.3 centimeters more than the height. Find its area. Well, the area of a trapezoid is a half the height, base 1 plus base 2. So when we're dealing with a trapezoid, what we're dealing with is this shape. So the perpendicular, so these two lines here are parallel to each other. This is B1 and this is B2. And the height is the perpendicular distance between the two parallel lines. So let's see, we have a height, a half of 8.3. Now we need to get what base 1 is. So let's say base 1 is B1. So base 1 is 2.1 less than the height. So that's the height minus 2.1. So the height is 8.3 minus 2.1. So base 1 is 6.2. So we can put 6.2 in here. Now base, the longer base, which we'll call B2, the longer base, B2, is 3.3 more than the height. So it's the height plus 3.3. So the height is 8.3. Add on 3.3 or 3.3, we get 11.6. So this is 11.6. Now we have it. I just put these sentences in to make you do a little bit more work in relation to getting the answers. So what we have to do inside the brackets first. So 8. So when we add here, we get 17.8. So we can take a calculator and go half or decimal 5 times 8.3 times 17.8, and that brings us up to 73.87. And it's in centimeters, so it's, again, let's write it this way this time, centimeters squared. Number 9, find the area of a circle to the nearest tenth if its diameter is 40. So the area of a circle, area is pi r squared. But we have the diameter, so the diameter is twice the radius. The diameter is 40. So if you divide by 2, you get r, divide by 2 and you get 20. So the radius is 20. So now we have two choices. We can put in 3.14 and take the radius, which is 20, and square it. Or we could leave our answer in terms of pi. But most people in the earlier grades would change pi to 3.14 and then they would calculate it out. So that's 400 times 3.14. So that gives us, and again, that's 400. 20 squared is 400. And when you multiply that out, you get 1256. And that's in inches, so that's square inches. Now you could use pi, and you probably get a more exact answer. Because if you use pi is an irrational number, and it goes beyond 3.14, it just keeps going on and on. So if you use pi and round it off, then right now it just comes right out to here. So check with your calculator and see what you get if you go 400 times pi and then round it off. See if you get the same answer. Number 10, a square has a perimeter of 24 meters. What is the area? What is the area of the circle which touches all sides of the square? And it's to the nearest 100. So the square has a, so there's the square. Square got all sides equal. Square got all right angles. So there's the square. Just draw it. Just here it is. So there's the square. And it says, what is the area of the circle that touches all sides of the square? So we draw a circle touching all sides. There it is. Again, it's just a. So what we're saying is that the circle is inside the square touching all sides. We say in the higher math, the circle is inscribed in the square. That means the circle is touching all sides of the square. That'll come up in the higher math. Now we want to find the answer to the nearest 100. First of all, a square is all sides equal. So the perimeter of a square is P is equal to 4S. So the perimeter is 24. So 24 equals 4S. Divide by 4, S equals 6. So that means the side of this square is 6. But if you take the center of the circle, which is also the center of the square, if this is 6 long, so this is 6 long right here, right through here, so that means from the center to here must be 3, and that's 3. So that means the radius of the circle is 3. And we got meters, so 3 meters. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. Again, 3.14, and R is 3. So that's 3.14 times 9, so that gives us 28.26. And it's in meters, so meters squared. And that works out to the nearest 100. But if you use pi and did 9, if you use pi on your calculator, so if you use pi on your calculator, the answer would have come out to be 28.27 approximately. So using pi, multiplying pi times 9, you'll get 28.27. So there is a little difference. And talk to your teacher about it and make sure you understand. Do you use pi or do you use 3.14? Because 3.14 is rounding it off to the nearest 100 right here. So check it out. Number 12, we have a circle, we have an arc from here to here, and that's 240 degrees. We have always the center of the circle. Find the area of the shaded region to the nearest tenth. So the area of the shaded region is here to the nearest tenth. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the area of the shaded region is whatever this arc length is here, this angle is going to be the same. So the area of the shaded region is a part of, so this shaded region is a part of the circle. And what part of the circle? Well, what we have here is that all the way around the circle is 360 degrees. Start here and go right around, you get 360. We have 240 here. So that's 240 degrees. What's left is 120. So this is 120 degrees. And that means if this arc is 120, this angle in here is 120. So the angle is 120. So it's 120 out of 360. So this area is 120 over 360. So that means this area is 1/3 pi r squared. Because the zeros cancel, 12 once, 12 3, that's 1/3. So we got 1/3. Again, do you use 3.14 or use pi? And we have a radius. Oh, just forgot. But the radius is 6 inches. There's the radius from here to here. So that means we got 6 squared. So what we have is 1/3, 3.14 times 36. And 3 into 36 goes 12. So we got 3.14 times 12. And that's, use a calculator, 37.68. And that's square. And the unit is inches. And we round it off to the nearest tenth. So we have 37.7 square inches. So the area of the shaded is 1/3 of the area of the circle. So the arc length, so whatever the arc length is, that's what the area is, same fraction. And I thought I might do that review, help you out. And again, if you like all of them, if you like my video, click the like button, click the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.